Hello and welcome to Forgotten Cello Music. This is episode 71. Hi, I'm Aaron. Thank you very much for listening, taking time out of your busy schedules and listening to this podcast. I do hope that you find something that's interesting, maybe something that's new, and even, perhaps, take a suggestion from me and look into some forgotten music, whether it's on cello or a totally different instrument. That would be fantastic to hear about anybody's exploration into some music that doesn't get played or has kind of been stuffed into a corner somewhere in a library. In this episode, we have Robert Fuchs. Robert Fuchs. It's about his 7 fantasy pieces, Opus 78. There's not a whole lot written about this Robert Fuchs, but there are quite a number of names with the family name Fuchs mentioned in Grove's dictionary and in Baker's dictionary for musicians, and there's only a mention of his name, not even any information on him in Vasilevsky's iconic book. That is iconic if you're a cello player and into history, specifically cello history. The idea really is just to present, going back to older type of episodes from maybe way back from the beginning, presenting a specific piece by a certain composer. Robert Fuchs was just somebody that popped up in my search. He was one of the names that I saw, and I plopped it into my search command, and I saw that he wrote 2 cello sonatas and a set of fantasy pieces for cello and piano. And here we are. I played through a bunch of music, and then I decided on these because they were quite short, each one that is. And on the outset, they look quite doable. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me once again. Please go to my YouTube channel and press like. Everybody, just go press like. I don't quite understand why. I don't get many dislikes, but I don't quite understand why I get dislikes. Why do we even get dislikes when it's something like this? I mean, yeah, I'm not really that great. I don't play that wonderfully or beautifully. This is really me. It's all about me enjoying the music and discovering music that doesn't get played often. Forgotten cello music. But if you would go to any of my social media outlets and press the like button over and over and over again on all of my videos and watch the majority of the video, put it on mute or something. It helps the metrics so much, the stats. Go to Patreon as well. You can support me there for a little money, of course. $1, I think, $3. You can get some a little bit of merch. I go there and I try to think about some things that might be interesting for the Patreons. Is that what it's called? The Patreons? The patrons. And upload a few things here and there. I have a problem, though. It's one of being completely unsure whether anybody is going to like it or not. And I get responses from things that I think nobody is going to be interested in. And every single time I upload something that I think is really interesting, not a soul responds to it in any way, shape, or form, unless it's a dislike. So I would really appreciate that. Another way you could do a little supporting is by going to buy some arrangements of mine. Thank you very much for listening to this episode 71, Robert Fuchs, 7 Fantasy Stücke 78. Like I said earlier, there's not a whole lot about Robert Fuchs. This is what I found in Grove's from the edition 1919. Fuchs, Robert, brother of J.N. Fuchs, was born at Frauenthal, February 15, 1847. He has been, since 1875, professor of theory at the Vienna Conservatoire, and is chiefly known to the outside world as composer of 5 serenades for string orchestra, which enjoy wide popularity. He also composed a symphony, Opus 37 in C, a piano concerto, a mass, several works for the chamber, and 2 operas. I mean, there is zero mention of his cello works. And of course, not to mention a whole variety of other works. Piano works, string quartets, violin sonatas, of which he apparently wrote 6, violin duos, a viola sonata, organ music. I mean, there's just all sorts of stuff. Maybe it's not that interesting, but from what I can tell, having recorded all 7 of his fantasy pieces for cello and piano, his music is pretty interesting. And his string symphonies apparently were very interesting because he was well known for them. What else can we say about this guy? Well, specific to his 7 fantasy pieces, which you hear playing in the background, and by the way, go to my YouTube channel and you can see the video uncut. Press like, and say something. Just leave a smiley face or something like that, and let it play all the way to the end. What else can be said? Well, these are fantasy pieces, so they don't follow a real tight form or structure. They do lead the mind to wander a little bit, or it feels like the mind wanders and you go here and there. The pieces are unnamed. They only have numbers, and I guess you could name them after the tempo markings if you want, or use your imagination and come up with your own title. Robert Fuchs, he was not known for his cello works, but he was a well-regarded composer in his day. Now, in IMSLP, if you go to his list of works, there are a total of 117 opuses that are numbered, and then a couple dozen that are unnumbered. Here's what I like about Robert Fuchs, his music, and this is not just pertaining to the fantasy pieces, but I've played all the way through one of his sonatas and then a little bit through another one. The sonata in D minor I did play all the way through just for fun. It was just such a lovely piece of music. Really enjoyed it. Very romantic. And that brings us to this point. It's actually very unique music for being a romantic composer. He was active right at the height, of the romantic period. Brahms and Tchaikovsky, right after Schumann, right after Mendelssohn. These titans of romantic music. And the interesting thing is, he sounds a little more forward-thinking, and I simply like his melodies. I think they're quite charming, and also I like the surprising elements that are embedded in his melodies. I think that's very, very good. So that's it. There's very little to be said about his life, or, to be read about his life. And go to my YouTube channel. I'm not going to play the entire set here. Let me have some nice statistics. You know what? I need 1,000 subscribers to get to my threshold of subscribers to be monetized, and I need 4,000 watch hours in 1 year, 1 calendar year, and I'm not even anywhere close. I'm at like 35 hours or something like that. Go to my YouTube channel. I'll have the link in the description. I'll have the link to Patreon, my Patreon, in the description. Also, if you want to send me something, a donation, I'll have my PayPal as there as well. And of course the sheet music plus link for my arrangements. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have either enjoyed the special episodes, or you have enjoyed going back to listening to older episodes if you are not interested in the cello or in the German learning bit. But again, the German learning bit, that's something that I really want to do and kind of need to do. I agreed to teach these native German speakers, and I did it knowing that my German is not anywhere close to fluent anymore, and I certainly have never taught anyone in German before, so that's all very new. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed all of the episodes up to this point. Please leave a good comment, leave a nice bunch of likes, and subscribe. Remember to play more forgotten cello music.